Pikmin 4 will soon be upon us, but what will happen when they add a new Pikmin type to an already unbalanced roster? Hello everyone, you're watching Variety Television and welcome to my Pikmin 4 balancing video. Today we're going to go over each type of Pikmin, any issues I might have with them, and how I would go about fixing them if it were up to me. Which it's not, let's begin. For starters, we have the Red Pikmin. Red Pikmin are primarily known for their immunity to fire, able to take blasts of fire directly and remaining unharmed. They also do a little bit more damage while attacking enemies than the other Pikmin types. From the very beginning, Red Pikmin have been useful. Their fighting abilities alone make them worth bringing into almost any situation. Their fire immunity is no doubt useful, with things like fiery blowhogs walking about and fire geysers littering different paths. Many enemies and terrain obstacles use fire to deter the player, making Red Pikmin plenty useful, and honestly, there's nothing I would change here. Next is the Yellow Pikmin, and boy, this group had it rough for a while. Practically useless in Pikmin 1, save for a handful of instances where you actually need them for their ability to carry bomb rocks or to reach a high up ship part or two. In Pikmin 2, they were made a bit more useful with the introduction of electric fences and a very small group of electrical enemies. This still wasn't enough to make the yellows as important as the others, so in Pikmin 3 they took away White Pikmin altogether and gave their digging abilities to the Yellow Pikmin as well, while making all Pikmin able to carry bomb rocks. It seems that Yellow Pikmin always get the odd leftover ability, the ones that are useful but not really directly linked to yellows. Like, there was no reason only yellows could carry bombs in Pikmin 1. And the digging thing in Pikmin 3 feels more like a, well, we have to give them something, than something that was truly planned as a buff. What I propose to make the Yellow Pikmin more useful is this. Increase the amount of enemies that are electrically charged or that need to be hit high up. High up enemies and treasures could also be dealt with using winged Pikmin, so having situations where yellows are more viable is crucial to balancing. Don't leave behind the electric fences, those are good, but maybe if we also added some collectibles that require Yellow Pikmin to carry, like an electrical component that still has charge but it needs to be collected. Perfect for our boys in yellow. Third on the chopping block is Blue Pikmin. Honestly, like the Reds, these guys feel really solid to me. Pikmin 3 taking the previously seen puddles of water and expanding them into full-on pools was the best thing for Blue Pikmin. I've seen some talk about how Ice Pikmin could make Blue Pikmin irrelevant, but honestly that's just crazy. Ice Pikmin may freeze the surface of water, but they aren't getting any bridge shards from under there, or defeating any enemies, or even collecting any treasure. They only make it where you can walk on the surface. Anything beneath the surface still requires blues. These ones are fine in my book. Alright, now for the big topic in town, Purple Pikmin. Everyone knows how badly purples got shafted in Pikmin 3, going from arguably the most overpowered Pikmin in the franchise to being somewhat forgotten in Pikmin 3. Here's the thing with Purple Pikmin that I think Pikmin 3 got wrong. I'm just gonna level with you here, it wasn't nerfing the stun. The stun was broken, and Purple Pikmin could not exist today with something like that. I think they were fully intended to be the worker ants, the ones that carry things back while you use your numbers to fight. Pikmin 3's mission modes that allow you to use purples don't allow you to put this into practice fully. Instead, focusing on time, the purples don't get to shine because they're slow carriers. You put them in a format where you have longer intervals of exploration and an incentive to keep as many Pikmin on you as possible, and you've rebalanced the purples. Obviously, the seesaw weight puzzles could be a great use for the purples, where one side requires significantly more Pikmin to lift. Purples are workhorses through and through, and if they're catered to that way, they'll truly shine once again. White Pikmin are one of my favorite types of Pikmin. Winged Pikmin are my other favorites, by the way, something about their tiny little bodies and huge unique eyes. Look at these two. Anyway, I'm off topic. In Pikmin 2, White Pikmin were fairly useful how they were. They had an immunity to poison and X-ray vision, with a plethora of poison gas vents and fully buried treasures. These guys always came in handy. Not to mention they dealt massive poison damage if they were eaten. These guys making a return is really awesome to me, but less so if the yellows don't get their act together. You'll remember the white Pikmin's digging ability was given to the yellows in Pikmin 3. White Pikmin were gone, and so were fully submerged treasures, so it only made sense to let the yellows be the ones to dig a little faster. And this I think is fine, but only if fully submerged treasures come back. Being able to sense items underground was really cool, and the ability to take down poison gas vents very useful. White Pikmin most likely get their own onion in Pikmin 4, so I think maybe toning down the amount of poison damage they deal when eaten could be good. Otherwise, building groups of white Pikmin just to sacrifice to a boss for an easy win seems kind of cheap. Oh, and I didn't even mention their ability to carry things faster than the others. That's good, keep that. Before we move on to the final 3, I'd like to talk about our 2 honorable mentions, Bulbman and Puffman. Seeing a return of either of these 2 would be incredible to me. I think leaving the Bulbman just the way they are is perfect. Limit them to cave areas, but they can go in water, fire, electricity, poison, whatever. Bulbman are actually regular Bulborbs that were taken over by a type of parasitic Pikmin. I think this parasitic Pikmin type is green in appearance due to the stem of the Bulbman, but more so, I think they actually have to stay in the caves to survive. This would be the reason we don't see them in Pikmin 3, being able to only survive in certain underground areas. The Puffmen, however, are a different story. These guys appeared in Pikmin 1 and were a hostile form of Pikmin taken over by a fungus. There's this mini-boss called the Puffstool that, during battle, sprays out these purple spores that infect your Pikmin if they breathe it in. This causes an immediate shift in Pikmin behavior and appearance. They turn a dark purple color regardless of starting color, their leaves turn to mushroom caps, and their eyes a solid white. They then attack you until they change back to normal, your unharmed Pikmin take them out, or they take you out. These guys can be incredibly dangerous, and it's quite shocking to have your army of Pikmin turned against you. Having some way to fight this enemy again would be really cool, or heck, even a way to safely convert Pikmin into Puffmen, with the mushroom equivalent of a candy pop bud. I don't know what Puffmen would do if you could control them, it's just a cool thought. Now on to the next actually confirmed Pikmin type returning, the Rock Pikmin. These guys are actually really good. They deal more damage when thrown, which makes sense for rocks, and are extremely useful for smashing down crystals and glass walls. More enemies like the Scutterchuck and this thing would be cool too, but I find rocks to be very useful, even if they don't have a wide range of different uses. Winged Pikmin are my other favorite Pikmin alongside the white ones. I love these adorable little guys, and honestly, I think they nailed balancing on these ones too. Fruits hanging from branches, flying enemies, and gates that need to be lifted from above, all of these make winged Pikmin useful. Do you remember way back when they were first shown in that Pikmin 3 reveal trailer and we all just called them Pink Pikmin? Yeah. Anyway, the winged Pikmin's ability to carry objects over any stretch of land would be something I'd normally consider to be broken. However, like the purples, I think that's what they were intended for. They're weaker in combat and actually carry objects slower than the other types, except maybe purples. This leads me to believe that they were intended to be workhorses, to carry things back to your ship and occasionally lift a gate while leaving the fighting to the others. Perfection. And finally we have the Ice Pikmin. This is a new Pikmin type that we haven't actually gotten to use yet. However, we do know at least some of what this type is capable of, and wow. These guys might just be the broken Pikmin that the purple fans have been pining for. Notably, they have the ability to freeze the surface of water, allowing your squad of Pikmin to walk over, functionally making a bridge. There will probably be a limit to the size of body of waters that can be frozen, as I'd imagine underwater bridge pieces will still exist. The main reason I think these guys have the potential to be broken is in their combat abilities. On contact, an Ice Pikmin hitting an enemy fills in this meter. Once the meter is full, the enemy is frozen solid and can then be shattered regardless of health level. This means taking out large enemies could be easier than ever before, on top of the fact that it appears frozen enemies drop nectar when you shatter them, which means flower Pikmin will be all the more abundant, as if bud Pikmin weren't already rare enough. It's really easy to see how this balances though. If a frozen enemy is shattered and turned to nectar, then you won't be able to collect the body to increase your Pikmin count. You're choosing to fight the creature to gain numbers, or freeze the creature to gain power. I really think Miyamoto figured out how to make Ice Pikmin work well after 10 years of thinking about it, and I doubt balancing will be an issue with these guys at all. However, if we want the yellows to be more relevant, something will have to change. Let me know what you all think about the current state of the Pikmin types and what you'd balance if given the option. And while you're at it, if you could please consider subscribing or leaving a like, that would be greatly appreciated. That's all I have for this one, and thank you so much for watching, but stay tuned because Variety Television will be right back.